Hi there, Rabbi. How you doing?
I'm good, Joe. I have my own business, Rabbi on the Go, LLC.
And to let the audience know, we've been discussing this a little bit before we started recording. As a cartoonist, I can point many instances in the funny pages of the boss yelling, Bumstead, you're fired. Your position is that his boss is not wrong in that assertion, that he can fire somebody because he wants to fire them. Am I summarizing your opinion correctly?
It's my company. It's my business. I am not taking money from any government, any grant, any agency. No one else has anything to do with Rabbi on the Go, LLC. Therefore, it's my prerogative whom I hire and whom I fire. It's that simple. It would be like my saying to you, "Oh, Joe, I'm going to tell you who can live in your house and who can't." It's your house.
Between the current two political parties in power in this country. One says we should be able to have government regulation to eliminate discrimination, underfunding, unfair labor and housing and whatever other practices are going on. And the other party that says, get out of my house, this is my house, and I want to be able to do what I want in my house.
Well, the free market will take care of it. The only difference is the government, they're not pointing out that a lot of this involves government money. As soon if I accept a grant from the state or the Commonwealth, as soon as I accept money from the federal government, then I am obligated to play by their rules because they bought into my company. And I don't hear that distinction being made. I think that's an important distinction. As long as it's Rabbi on the Go LLC, none of, unless I break a law that's on the books for murder or solicitation or something else, bribery, you have nothing to do with my little company. And you can say what you want, but once I accept outside money, let's say I decide to go public. Let's say I have a board of directors. It's not my company anymore. I now have a board of people that I have to answer to. So it keeps changing. I don't hear that in the discussion. What I hear are absolutes. We're going to make it fair for every. No, that's wrong. Let's step back and look at what are we talking about? Talking about my company, or are you talking about aerospace that accepts government contracts? Well, just like our children, the classic example, if you don't like the rules that I have as your father, you can always move out and you don't have to live under my rules. We say that to our kids. So it's the same thing here. You don't like the way I hire at my company, go work someone else.
But what about the moral obligations that are regardless of the law? If I owned a lunch counter, should I discriminate against customers because of race or religion? If I have a garage that I'm the sole owner, and I don't like this mechanic because he wears a certain cologne every day to work, and he refuses to stop wearing it, can I fire him for that, even though it has nothing to do with the work that he's doing?
You have a neat question because that depends on your religious orientation, but that's a moral question, not a legal question. And one of the problems we have in the United States is our government is infringing on areas of religious belief that each of us should decide I don't want to work with. I have trouble identifying with in my office. That's me and my employee. Now, if we look at Judaism, Judaism says there's moral obligations. Christianity says there are moral obligations. So let's not confuse or throw in religious beliefs into something if it's your sole practice. Now, if you're an agent of the state and you're a judge or you're working giving out marriage licenses, it's not your business. You're an agent of the state. Therefore, the state can tell you what to do. And I don't hear that distinction being made enough. It's not the same. It's confused. Well, I don't want to let those people, I don't want to issue a marriage license. You have to because you're following the laws of the state that hired you. However, if I'm making a wedding cake and I don't want to make a wedding cake for you, I won't. And then let the free market decide. Let everyone know on Facebook, on TikTok, that I will not make cakes for this group of people. And then what's going to happen to my business? If enough people stop coming, all of a sudden I'll go, not a very bright idea. It's not helping my business. Or, oh, gee, business is booming. I have more than I can handle. I don't care what they say on Facebook. But let's don't confuse it, Joe. Don't bring in to the public sector, government, something that just belongs in a private sector.
So if I owned a hotel and I hung a sign outside the window that said Red Sox fans not allowed or not welcome, that would be okay as long as I owned the hotel and it was my hotel and I didn't have any stockholders or take any government contracts.
Correct. And what I would say to you is what my grandmother used to say to my grandfather in Yiddish. If I wasn't your grandmother, I would be your grandfather. So stop with the what ifs.
Well, thanks as always, Rabbi. You can't top that for a last piece of wisdom, but I give you free reign to try.
And for our viewers and listeners, let your Christianity, your Judaism, your Sikh, your Islam, whatever your religion is, let those moral codes guide you. And let's keep the government out from trying to use a specific religion to support a private business. And let's keep that in mind. I'm not talking about public. I'm not talking about accepting grants or money. It's just Rabbi on the Go, LLC.